Hi, this is Frode, and welcome to Actualize Notes TV, where I deliver 5 big ideas that we can use to actualize our potential, and I give you some tips on how you can apply the ideas. Today we have another great book, The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. The War of Art is a part of Steven Pressfield's trilogy that will help us encounter resistance. Among the War of Art are his book Do the Work and Turning Pro. And I'll be covering Turning Pro in the very near future. As the subtitle suggests, the book will help us break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. And Steven Pressfield is an best-selling non-fiction and fiction author. And among the non-fiction books are The Warrior Ethos, that I'll also be covering in the close future. Steven is also a former Marine, and in 2003, he became an honorary citizen of the city of Sparta in Greece. And I just love the Spartans, so I think that's really awesome. If you want to encounter resistance in any area of your life, and that's another point I want to make, that when Steven uses the words art and creativity, he means everything that makes us feel resistance, and that can be a painting, a book, a business venture, or a relationship that we are trying to form. It can be literally anything. So if you want to encounter resistance in your life, you'll love this book. 5 big ideas. If you have any questions, you can just comment them below the video. Now, Actualizer, let's get started with the first big idea, resistance. What it is. You can't really see, touch, smell, or hear resistance. But you can feel resistance. And it's this kind of negative force that you can feel out of a work in work that's got a lot of potential. So when you sit down and do your work, you feel this negative force. And resistance's main job is to prevent you from doing your work. It's to shove you away and distract you from doing it. So have you been encountering any resistance lately? If you can think of a time, that's great, because the awareness that you're encountering resistance is the first step towards encountering it. Yes, the awareness that you feel resistance is the first step towards encountering it. The next big idea, do you have a body? Steven says that we are wrong if we think that we are the only ones who feel resistance. Because if you have a body, you will encounter resistance. And also, a dangerous... The other point I wanted to make was that the battle of resistance must be fought anew every single day. You will feel resistance today, you will feel it tomorrow, the day after that, etc. For example, Henry Fonda, the actor, when he was 75 years old, still threw up every single time before he went out on the stage. About 2,000 years ago, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius felt reluctant to get up out of bed in the morning. A lot of times. He would rather wrap himself in blankets and keep warm, instead of going out to fulfill his duties as the Emperor of Rome. That's just insane. I feel a lot of resistance almost every single time I start preparing these videos. It's really normal. If you feel you are alone in feeling resistance, that's simply not true. If you have a body, you encounter resistance. Next big idea, tomorrow. And there are 2 points I'd like to make here. The procrastination is really the most common manifestation of resistance, because it's the easiest one to rationalize. We don't tell ourselves that we're never going to do our work again. We tell ourselves that we are going to do it tomorrow, which never happens. And the other point I wanted to make is that the dangerous nature of procrastination is that it can become a habit. I noticed this in my own life. For every single day I procrastinate and put something off to, quote, tomorrow, then the chance becomes bigger that I do that again. But the truth that has always helped me and will help you is, as Steven says, write At this second, we can turn the tables on resistance. At this second, we can sit down and do our work. So what is one thing that you have been procrastinating on and putting off to tomorrow? What is one thing you are putting off to tomorrow right now? Just know that this second you can turn the tables on resistance and you can do what needs to get done. Fourth big idea, the right-hand man. The right-hand man of resistance is really rationalization, as we talked about. And the reason for that is that the number one job of rationalization, the right-hand man, is to, quote, protect you from feeling the shame that you would feel if you realized just what coward you were from not doing your work. But not enough with that. This right-hand man has its own sidekick, and the sidekick of rationalization is the part of you that truly believes what you're rationalizing. Yes, you might have 2 part-time jobs while you're being a student. That's me. And yes, you might not, what you feel you're called to do might not pay the bills. But all of that means diddly. Leo Tolstoy had 13 kids while he wrote War and Peace. Lance Armstrong had cancer while he won the Tour of France year after year after year. So I'm wondering, what rationalization are you currently believing that you have made up? What's one of them? Now, just being aware of them makes it more likely that you can turn the tables on resistance and sit down and do your work today. That was the right-hand man, rationalization, and its sidekick, the part of you that believes your rationalization. And we all experience this. I experience this every day. I believe the stupid excuses I make for not doing my work. Fifth big idea, inspiration. I really love this idea. In the book, Stephen presents that someone once asked the writer Somerset Maugham whether he only wrote when struck by inspiration. And he would answer, "Yes, I only write when inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes every morning at 9 o'clock sharp." What Maugham understood was that when he would sit down and do his work, the inspiration would come and the resistance would fade. And Timothy Pitchell, leading researcher on procrastination, also echoes this wisdom in solving the procrastination puzzle, where he says we need to just get started. Once we start a task, it is rarely as bad as we think. Russ Harris also talks about this in The Confidence Gap, where he presents the golden rule of confidence. The actions of confidence come first, the feelings of confidence come later. This means that we need to act, and then the feelings will come. If it would be really easy for me to freak out, but because of the resistance I feel almost every single morning, if I didn't know the truth that once I just get started, the inspiration will come, and the resistance will fade. Have you been lacking any inspiration lately? Why not do like Somerset Maugham does? Make a routine where you sit down and do your work, and know that inspiration will come, and once again, the resistance will fade. Eventually. Well, that was inspiration. The right-hand man, rationalization, and its sidekick, the part of us that believes rationalization. Tomorrow, it really never comes, and this procrastinating can really become a habit, which becomes really destructive over time. Check up on that. Do you have a body? Then you will encounter resistance, again and again and again, for your whole life, just like Henry Fonda, and the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Resistance, its main job, is to shove us away, distract us, and prevent us from doing our work. But now we have the tools to encounter it. Well, that was a quick look at the War of Art. Thank you, Stephen Pressfield. Now, what is the one idea that resonated the most with you? And how can you apply it to your life starting today? Well, I hope you enjoyed and that you continue to actualize your potential so we can create a better world together. Thanks for watching. Have another awesome day. See ya.